Essential question 3 is how did the definition of economic freedom change after the revolution and who benefited from the changes? So, by the time that the revolution occurred, indentured servitude had largely disappeared and been replaced by the labor system in both North and South. The North was mostly characterized by free labor, or people that worked for wages, with some slave labor as well. And of course, the South is primarily characterized by the use of slave labor. Throughout the new nation, there were some efforts to limit the accumulation of wealth, and the point of that was so that people could become more equal. For example, Thomas Jefferson's laws passed in Virginia did things like abolish entail, which entail limited the inheritance to a specific line of heirs to keep estates within a family. And he also passed a law abolishing primogeniture, which was passing all of the family's land to the eldest son. Both of these laws had the effect of limiting an individual's ability to accumulate large amounts of wealth to try to prevent the rise of a new sort of aristocracy in the new nation. Of course, the revolution had created some economic problems as well. Particularly, the overprinting of money during the war had led to rapid inflation or rapidly rising prices, and that led to some calling for government fixing of wages and prices in order to combat these rising prices. But ultimately, the government doesn't do that, and instead, free trade arguments prevail, or arguments in favor of a government that's sort of hands off with the economy, that prevails. This more free trade attitude was influenced by the ideas of Enlightenment thinker Adam Smith's The Wealth of Nations. And among other things, The Wealth of Nations said that the invisible hand of the free market could direct the economy more efficiently and more fairly than government action could. So think the law of supply and demand, for example. It says that the free market, or the invisible hand of the free market, will automatically set prices, will automatically determine how much people are willing to pay for something just by looking at supply and demand. And it doesn't require the government to come in to fix prices or anything like that, and that will actually be more efficient to allow it to operate freely.